I wanted to talk about the Devil card today and easy ways you can understand and unlock its meaning based specifically on the images. I'm using the Rider-Waite deck, but you will probably find that many decks carry similar images. So one of the things that's always fascinated me about the devil is the reflection between the devil and the Hierophant. Now, I often associate the Hierophant with communication. Yes, it's to do with teaching. We could argue it's to do with the hierarchy. But in essence, the Hierophant is communicating to the two monks. And we have contact, eye contact or communication. Each person the two monks are aware of the Hierophant and the Hierophant is aware of the two monks. Whereas when we look at the Devil card, we can see the Devil is enormous, dominates the card even more than the Hierophant does. And yet Adam and Eve seem to be completely unaware that the Devil even exists. Now, the Lovers card was altered in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck to create a reflection of the Devil card. And so you have three, I think, really important cards here that together help you to understand each one even more. So at core, the Hierophant can be about communication. And yes, the Lovers can be about being in a romantic or sexual relationship, but we have to find another meaning for that, because otherwise you could be reading, how do I best get my next job and how should I be in my interview? And you get the Lovers card. No, it doesn't mean you should flirt with your potential boss. So we have to move away from just the core romantic or sexual connections. I feel at heart the Lovers is about choice. It is about choosing to surrender to a relationship. And there is a choice there. It's not all chemistry. So if the Hierophant can at core represent communication, then the way the Devil card is set up means that this is not communicating. This is not listening, not being aware. And if the Lovers is about choice at heart, then the Devil can be believing you don't have a choice. And I would argue that when I read for clients, that is one of the main reasons the Devil will come up in a reading. It's when somebody believes they have no choices. And there's always a choice. Sometimes it's a choice between two things and you don't actually want either of them, but you can still decide which way to go. And sometimes our final choice is our attitude. To let go, to walk away, to keep fighting. Our attitude always remains our choice, even when we're faced with really, really difficult situations. So for me, I often read the Devil as I don't realize I have a choice in this. One of the symbols that I'm fascinated by in the Devil is the burning brand here. The flaming torch, if you like, that is thrust down. So the Devil can be not believing you have a choice. And linked into that, the Devil can be, what am I not seeing? What am I not aware of? Because when we look at the Lovers and the Hierophant, we can really see that there is communication, connection and sightline between the main triads. Whereas in the Devil, we don't have that sight line. And the light is a really, really important image. Now, the one thing I always tell students when they're reading tarot cards is don't forget to look. It's really easy. I think we all do it. We lay a card down and we do one of two things often. If you're beginning on your tarot journey, you may reach straight for the book. Now, that's fine. Books are really helpful. I still refer to books myself when I'm reading for myself or when I'm researching a card. But if the book is the first thing you reach for, it means that you're not building in a good reading skill, which is looking at the card. For those of us that are perhaps a bit further along the tarot journey, it's very easy to see a card and just let a tagline come into our head, a keyword, a phrase that we associate with the card, and to not really stop and look at the card. Because as you put more cards out in your spread, what you'll begin to notice is there are going to be key symbols that are speaking between the cards, if you like. And I believe one of the key symbols in the Devil is light, because we have the burning brand, the burning torch, thrust down, and the rest of the card is black. Now, the majority of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck is set outside, and we're given blue skies or grey skies or windswept clouds. So the fact that the card is in the black is really important. And light is a really powerful symbol in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Obviously, we have the huge sun in the Lovers, framing, if you like, the angel. We have the star. You know, a star is light. It's a form of light. If you've ever been out in a really dark night and there's no moon, the stars suddenly look so bright. It's easy to forget that a star is light. One of the symbols that I'm just utterly captivated with is the white sun in the Fool, mirroring, of course, the white rose. We have presumably a sun rising or a sun setting here, and we have what is clearly meant to be a halo around the angel's head, and we have the halo in the Hanged Man. Now, the reason that I am so keen on people stopping to look at the cards is, even with a photographic memory, you can't memorize all of the symbolic connections between the images. I still look at cards and go, oh, as I've just made a new connection for a particular nuance of a reading. So looking is so important. We could argue that the fact that the golden pentacles here seem to be shining is that we are seeing light from within the church. Of course, the moon, interestingly, is reflected light. It is the sunlight reflected in the moon. We have the light in the Hermit. And perhaps if you were doing a reading for either someone else or yourself, and you had the Devil and you had the Hermit, and you were really looking at the cards, you weren't going for the book immediately, and you weren't relying on memorized keywords, you might notice the difference, that the Hermit is holding his light aloft so that all may see it. And the Devil is thrusting his torch down to create the big, scary shadows, which then, of course, is a link to the moon and the fact that the moon can distort how our everyday world looks, because the shadows can look eerie, linking us to the fear between the moon and the Devil. We have the Ten of Swords. I mean, is this the sun rising? Is it the sun setting? We don't logically know. It doesn't actually matter. What we have here is a pictorial representation of dusk or dawn. So we have the sun being shown. And of course, we have the sun card itself. So to me, that image of the burning brand is really important. And I often think with the Devil card, it's asking us, what am I not seeing? When we think about difficulties in communication, if we come back to my original two cards, and if we think about believing you don't have a choice, then what you could ask yourself with the Devil card is, what am I not seeing? And I often think of the Devil as being excuses. The old, well, I'd love to, but I'd love to move house, but I'd love to change career, but. And that but is often something that you feel is trapping you. So watch out with the Devil card. It's talking about the illusion of not being fully aware of the choices and opportunities you have. And sometimes with the devil, it just means, if we really focus on this burning brand here, to lighten up. Just the decision that, I'm going to take a lighter point of view. I'm going to put these back and mix them up, because obviously I don't want to do a reading where all the lights just come up in one go. So yeah, sometimes the devil card talks about humor and the need to lighten up. And if the devil is dogging my tarot readings, I will often decide, okay, I'm going to maybe watch a bit more comedy. I'm going to try and laugh a bit more. I'm going to try and play some silly card games with my kids. I'm going to try and just lift the mood. Because when we're feeling playful, when we're feeling more in a more humorous state of mind, we're more willing to take risks. And then we're more likely to see the real opportunities that are there. And make better choices. And if the devil is your stalker card, and you can do this with any stalker card, what you do is you leave your stalker card out, just for this one spread, not for a long time. You'd end up with a very small deck if you kept taking out your stalker cards. Leave your stalker card out. I'm leaving my devil out, and I'm asking, what is it that I am not seeing? And you can ask. We have a conversation, I think, with our cards, and you can communicate. Well, that one just popped out. Now, arguably, I'm shuffling it at an odd angle because of filming, but I'm going to honour that and particularly notice the darkness. Of course, it's two of the darkest cards in the deck. And maybe the cards are saying that I do need to be more playful. This is really interesting because I have literally come back from a night away in London, all on my own, which is very rare. I went to see my absolute hero in life, Adam Ant, in concert in London. I should probably point out I saw him on Monday in Brighton. And I had a whole day to myself, and I just walked around London. I climbed to the top of St. Paul's. I went to the Design Museum. I had high tea in Harrods, which surprised me, but I actually really enjoyed it. And I had a playful 2 days. So I think I need more playfulness, because otherwise I can, like many of us, get overwhelmed by adulting. But I'm going to honour the fact that I said I was going to pull 3 cards. And like I say, you can do this with any stalker cards, but I think it's particularly helpful with the devil. And in fact, if you're in a playful mood, if you're trying to understand your cards, you could choose the devil, take it out, place it on your table or your desk, and then ask the devil 3 cards. What am I not seeing? What do I need to be more aware of? Well, and I'm endlessly fascinated by tarot. We've gone from the 9 of Swords to the 4 of Swords. Rest, peace. I've literally just finished writing an online course about the power of rest, which was done to inspire and focus me to get better rest. Potential. I often think of the Fool as potential, the potential to be anything. Well, the last few years have been very focused on parenting and just trying to keep the bills paid and, the kids fed. That stage is coming to an end now, as my youngest is 16, and I have the potential to do new things. It's a new cycle in life, and maybe I'm not really seeing that. Notice how I've got 3 out of 4 swords cards. I definitely struggle with overthinking. And the 6 of Swords is perhaps telling me to travel more. When I look at that, I really do think it's telling me to travel more. Even though my London trip was just one night, I loved it. But now we need to remember about the connection between the cards. And we have the black pole here. We have the black pole in the 6 of Swords, and we have the black pole in the Fool. It's only in one other card, which is the 10 of Pentacles. And I really link the black pole with spirit guides, because the Fool is an unincarnated spirit. And I often think of this man here as being like a spirit guide, or if it suits you better, an angel. And I now, and this is me kind of processing in real time, because I think it's useful to do live readings. I think it's useful for people to see how it comes together, because now I'm really linking the fact that I've got 3 swords cards, and spirit, working with my spirit guides as a Norse shaman, is a way of not overthinking and trusting. Now, what happened in my 2 amazing days in London is I had to go and buy myself a notebook, because I was getting so many ideas coming through of blogs I want to write and courses I want to write. It was like, when I stopped thinking and let my brain be still, the ideas, the solutions that I've been seeking just dropped into my head. And as a Norse shaman, we could argue, or I could suggest, that was coming from my spirit guides. So I think what the cards are reminding me is that when I'm taking a trip, even if it is just one night, arguably even if it's just one day, I stop overthinking, I rest, and I allow my ideas to flow with more ease. Now, I always like to look at the card at the bottom of the pack. Not sure where to put it. I'll put it there. And, we have the Fool and the World. I think I'm resisting with the Devil, fully appreciating the age and independence of my children. They've been the sole focus of my life for the last 22 years. But it is a big ending and an amazing new beginning as well. So give it a go. Whether you choose the Devil and ask, what am I not seeing? Like I say, I would normally do 3 cards. It's just that the 9 of Swords happened to pop out for me. Or pick any card that you're not getting, any card that's stalking you, and ask it what you most need to know.